The United States of America, home to democracy, freedom, and the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. But throughout its history, this great nation has seen several attempts on the lives of its leaders. From conspiracies to lone wolves, these assassination attempts have shaped the course of history. The first recorded assassination attempt on a sitting president occurred on February 5, 1835, when Andrew Jackson was targeted. Richard Lawrence, a mentally unstable man, attempted to shoot Jackson at point-blank range. Remarkably, both of Lawrence's pistols misfired. Jackson, in a fury, began to attack Lawrence with his cane, preventing the assassination from succeeding. One of the most infamous assassinations in American history. On April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln was shot while attending a play at Ford's Theatre in Washington, D.C. John Wilkes Booth, a well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer, shot Lincoln in the back of the head. The president died the next day, making Booth's assassination a pivotal moment in American history, one that would leave the nation deeply scarred. On July 2, 1881, President James A. Garfield was shot by Charles J. Guiteau at a Washington, D.C. train station. Guiteau, a disgruntled office seeker, believed he was owed a political appointment. Garfield, despite the severity of his wound, lived for another 2 months before dying on September 19th. In 1901, President William McKinley was shot while attending a public event in Buffalo, New York. The assassin, Leon Czolgosz, believed he was acting on behalf of the oppressed masses. McKinley succumbed to his wounds on September 14th, marking the end of his presidency and pushing the nation into a new era under Theodore Roosevelt. In 1933, just weeks before taking office, President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt narrowly escaped an assassination attempt in Miami. Giuseppe Zangara, an Italian immigrant angry at the government, fired at Roosevelt but missed. However, the bullet struck Chicago Mayor Anton Kermack, who later died from his wounds. Roosevelt survived the attack, but it highlighted the ongoing threats faced by leaders. On November 22, 1963, the world watched in horror as President John F. Kennedy was assassinated while riding in a motorcade through Dallas. Lee Harvey Oswald, acting alone, fired shots from the Texas School Book Depository, fatally wounding the president. The assassination of JFK remains one of the most significant and debated events in modern American history. In 1975, President Gerald Ford survived 2 assassination attempts in just 17 days. First, on September 5th, Lynette "Squeaky" Fromm, a member of the Manson family, aimed her gun at Ford but was quickly subdued. Then, on September 22nd, Sarah Jane Moore took a shot at Ford but missed. These 2 attempts in such a short time highlight the instability of the post-Watergate era. On March 30th, 1981, President Ronald Reagan was shot outside the Washington Hilton Hotel. John Hinckley Jr., obsessed with actress Jodie Foster, attempted to kill Reagan in an effort to impress her. The president was seriously wounded, but thanks to the quick action of his medical team, Reagan survived, returning to work after recovering. In 1993, while visiting Kuwait, President George H.W. Bush narrowly avoided death after a failed assassination attempt. A plot involving a bomb to be detonated near Bush's motorcade was foiled by the Kuwaiti authorities. The attack, believed to be the work of Saddam Hussein loyalists, was part of a broader effort to target U.S. interests in the region. On July 13, 2024, during his campaign for president, Donald Trump narrowly escaped an assassination attempt. While he was giving a rally speech in Pennsylvania, a man positioned on a nearby roof, later identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, raised a gun and fired at the candidate. Fortunately, the bullet only grazed the ear of the future president, and the suspect was swiftly eliminated. The incident was a stark reminder of the heightened security risks faced by presidential candidates during the election season. The history of assassination attempts against US presidents is a story of survival, loss, and the unpredictable forces of violence that have at times targeted the leaders of this nation. Each of these events shaped not only the history of the individuals involved, but also the nation as a whole,